Finally, I got this. Okay, I said I was going to be more than 30 minutes. Oh my God, if y'all didn't bring the fire. Look, I want to get everybody's title correct, but Mr. Ken made a statement that each time he's like, fuck it, somebody else come along and gives him confirmation, like stay the course, stay the course. And I have to tell you, that's what you guys did for me on the heels of the State of the Culture, the group with P. Diddy and all them, and then Black Women Speak with Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross, those hitters, heavy hitters. And yeah, and one of the things that Brittany Packnett said on that is we save us, we save us, and you guys came to the same conclusion when you said, we're on our own, we're on our own, and we need to do this. So many things. Ain't no way I'm gonna be able to hit on everything that you all, inspire me with over 3 hours, but I think I can back and forth with just some of the, pardon me, some of the, you don't know who I am. I'm so sorry. My name is Charmin Leon, and I'm a police sergeant here in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm the officer in charge of recruitment for police, fire, and EMS. So when we talk about the history of racism and the corruption we have, that goes across the board. Um, so I just thank you guys for doing that. The wealth of knowledge and experience was just beautifully overwhelming, and so I just wanted to interject a few things because, again, anybody who watched that who's in this space had to get fired up, had to get excited. So one of the things that I don't understand, and maybe it's a conversation to be had, is what's with all these different associations? What's with all these different associations? I understand that everybody wants to be the authority. In fact, I got this in the mail not too long ago and I did not care for it. Speaking with one voice. Look who's at the table. We on our own. Um, but it also makes me think of the African proverb that says, enough spider webs can tie up a lion, and that's what we're dealing with. And we got to take care of our own. We save us. You know, President Pruitt mentioned being at a critical mass, and I believe that. I believe that's what's happening. We're at a critical mass because look what's going on across the country, okay? Which translates into our ability to transform, finally, when the captain, Mr. Newton, Attorney Newton, stated, "We're going to get there sooner than you think." From your lips to God's ears, I got so excited. And Mr. Damon followed up with, "Yeah, that's what I thought in 1992." I'm like, "No, brother, wait a minute, keep it going," because yeah, I hope finally we can get there, you know. But here we are finding ourselves here again. Someone spoke about the it was camp no spoke about yeah, Mr. Hampton, Ronald Hampton, about the all the work that was done in the 70s to the 90s, I believe it was, and how the gains that happened, what happened, it seemed like they went away. 1970 to 1990, black officers, the success black officers had. And so for me, having been in this space, I joined the division at 38. So I've been on now over 12 years, and work patrol in the busiest district in Cleveland, um, assigned after promotion to the Office of Professional Standards, investigating complaints against officers, then, assigned to personnel, and now over recruitment. And what I found is that it seems like we're trying to address the issue at some of the wrong points. You know, when I was assigned to personnel, we started looking for a new entry-level exam for officers, the one that will screen better for the skill sets necessary to employ the tenets of true urban community policing. We had an agency respond, Morrison McDaniel, and what he said made all the sense in the world to me. He said they've been doing this 38 years or whatever, organizational psychology, and what their research has shown is that although sociopaths only make up 8% of the general population, they make up 40%, that's 40, of law enforcement. It's because those personalities are attracted to law enforcement and government, as we can see with our administration, government, those types of personalities. So, you know, there's one, he used to be chief of police in Cleveland for a short time. He is now over the criminal justice program at Cedarville University, Dr. Patrick Oliver. And a couple things he always says is you can't get the right behavior from the wrong people. And an agency cannot outperform the quality of its people. Here in Cleveland, it's been like pulling teeth to get a better psych process, to actually have actual face-to-face behavioral-based interviews, things like that that would help us to better determine the quality of the people and to screen out those folks. So y'all have heard what's happened here in Cleveland. So, you know, I think it is amazing that you all spoke about the Million Man March, the 25-year anniversary coming up. Oh, and President Pruitt, if you could post your videos from that for the anniversary, I think that would be amazing. If we could have some kind of town hall. Hey, I get in where I fit in. I just want to be down. I just want to be a part of the solution. I just believe, just like these folks talk about, now we don't have our experiences, and that's one of the things that they talked about in Black Women Speak. It's so varied now in the United States. It's like, what issues do we come around? What issues do we, you know, gather around to address? And I think we can figure that out. I think we can figure that out. So why haven't we reached scale? I believe that's part of it. I was in a webinar about humanizing policing, and a guy said the same thing. One of the presenters, he was like, we keep running around the same mulberry bush. Every few years we're talking about reform, and then here we are again. How is it that as a profession that we don't have what we need to really move forward? I always say it's one of three things. It is an inability to do it, incompetency pretty much. There's no intent to do it, right? Or you're just, you know, what's the saying? The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. You're just indifferent. Folks are indifferent. So I think we can solve the problem. I think when you all talk about, you know, we're here and it's time, you know, I loved how you ended on a positive note. Let's end on a positive note and be excited. One of the things, you know, in the academy, I'm an instructor in the academy as well, teach procedural justice, implicit bias, and legitimacy. And, you know, we always want to talk about Sir Robert Peel, and I get it, it's an ideal. But in the United States of America, our history is Tammany Hall. Tammany Hall, Boss Tweed, that's, you know, where people bought their way onto the police department. They bought their way onto the fire department. And what has ever been done to address that culture? It's here. What was ever done to address the fact that FBI knows that extremist groups infiltrated law enforcement and the military? What, like, actionable steps were taken to address those things? Right. So it's no wonder how we're here. We know how we're here and why we haven't been able to move the needle on that. You know, you had the Plainview Project that exposed all these racist cops. It's like we just move on. You know, these things come out, we move on. Wesley Lowery wrote the book, You Can't Kill Us All. They can't kill us all. They can't kill us all. You know, and because of Ferguson, and there's no the Ferguson effect, that's a whole nother conversation, please. They started this thing called Fatal Force, where they were actually tracking themselves police shootings. We had never accurately had that reported, right? And those of us in law enforcement should be outraged at the number of the wrongfully accused, all these folks being acquitted. That should just, that breaks my heart. I know it breaks everybody else's heart, but it just speaks to the incompetence and corruption that's raw in this profession. We need to start acting like what we don't. We talk about the truth. What it is, what it is. Where am I at? 10 minutes. Whew, okay. Same thing. I was in so two things. You know, for a time I was on that thing too about reconciliation. And Ron Davis said it at the congressional hearings on law enforcement. He said, "There's no reconciliation. We've never been where we need to be. There's conciliation." You know, and I think that the true history of law enforcement in the United States, coupled with acknowledgement of who's here, how they got here, who's attracted to it, and that we need to start weeding those jokers out at the front end. Owning that gets us to conciliation, but it has to be intentional. Who's gonna take the charge? So, and then a webinar I was in called "Is Our Training Failing Our Recruits?" And the gentleman who was giving the training, I wish I should have pulled up his name. I'll try to tag it when I post this to your inbox. He said, "We talking about de-escalation. It's not the community need to de-escalate. It's these cops that need to de-escalate." White man telling the truth, looking at the how much departments pay out for all these, misconduct of officers. So it's not de-escalation. Our officers need to learn non-escalation, not to escalate. But again, can't get the right behavior from the wrong people. The people that we are hiring, because our job is to recruit. We bring in the pool. But if the screening process to onboard these folks ain't right, it's just you can't move forward. So I love what you all, because of course finally you start talking about recruitment. I was like, yes. And we go into barbershops here, and I always tell them, you got to bring your big boy and big girl panties. You can't, thank God I was able to pick my team for the most part, my officers anyway. I have a fire lieutenant and a EMS paramedic sergeant as well. But the good thing is you got to have folks that don't get you run up out of there. So we've done that for the last, it's going on 2 years. It'll be 2 years next month that we've been doing that. Of course, with the COVID, kind of stopped that. Okay, 13 minutes. Full court press, critical mass. I love it. Brother's going to work it out. You know what I'm saying? Brother's going to work it out. I think this being the anniversary of the Million Man March, I think everything you all said, a call to action. What are we going to do? Oh my goodness, police in our own communities, training folks in our communities to police themselves, Oh my God, what an amazing statement. Well, it was many. Self-sufficiency. Mr. Ron, you brought up from other institutions, Oh, it's a captain. I'm so sorry. I did write it down. Yep. But yeah, to be free from a self-sufficiency from other institutions, the housing, the education, the health disparities. We are at a critical mass now. We can serve ourselves. We do that ourselves. And I'm ready. But I love what Mr. Jonathan said. If I ain't seen no fight in you, I ain't getting in a fight with you. And I saw the fight. I saw the fire. And that's exciting. And I hope that we are at a critical mass, because let me tell you, it is scary right now. You have this Operation Relentless Pursuit. You have all these judges that have been appointed by this administration. And then we have this new commission on law enforcement, where one of the charges is a respect for law enforcement. Y'all scared? I'm scared. I'm scared for my sisters and brothers and myself, my children, everybody else. What you gonna do? If somebody protests something out that's illegal, because that's where they'll go with that. That's where they go. Not to be thought of as human because we're acting human, not to be respected because we're respectable, but they're gonna force somebody to respect and shut up. Keep your mouth shut. Should have kept your mouth shut. All right. Thank you for the information about those cases dealing with qualified immunity. And there, again, same issue. ICAP and PERF. What are we going to do? All these associations. Why is that necessary? I mean, I get it. We all like to be right about stuff. But if ain't no need of being right if we're ineffective. Hey, I can be right all day long, but if I'm not effective, what difference does it make? Okay, anything other than that, I'm just going to be rambling. So it wasn't even 30 minutes. It was 15, and I appreciate you saying you were willing to receive this from me. Because who am I? I ain't nobody. But I'm willing to be in it with you, sisters and brothers. So I'm here, and yeah. All right. Thanks.